Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk. Okay, there is Philip. He finally got back. Hello, Phil.
Hey, I'm here. That was quick.
Yeah.
And that green room minute went by too fast. I was getting my soda and checking with my boss over the other side of the room, make sure her computer's going. And we got an exciting show tonight. I'll say that.
Yeah, I will tell you that. And sorry, apologies for the debacle of last week, but the power just went out.
Yeah, and that was kind of, I have to say, that was kind of my fault for not being up to speed on the software, but I think we got it now, and we're going to try, I guess, once a month, Jeff. I'm going to try it on a Saturday.
Yep.
Make sure I can run it so that we have a backup in place.
Yep. So you'll know every once a month on a Saturday, there'll be all kinds of specials live from the shop.
We'll do live from the shop, and we'll do a drawing or two here and there to make sure I know how to use all the tools that Jeff's got here, because I think the drawing tool now is so cool that we can do that live on the show and see the names spinning.
Speaking of that, Philip, we just heard while we were in the green room chatting with our guests, as you know, we're giving away, Captain Fizz is giving away a Shipwreck coin, the Admiral Gardner Shipwreck coin that sunk in 1806, I think.
Yes.
Then Brad or Mark comes out. He's going to give away 2 Scuba Wise hats, and they're going to give away a really cool picture that you'll get later, because what we're going to do in April, we're having a special treasure talk. It'll be on a Thursday night from Sebastian. So the winner of this won't get it until after in April, but you'll understand because they're all going to autograph it. So we'll get them autographed then, and then we'll get it out to you. So, hey, what can I say? It's going to be a good night. And if it looks a little different, apologies. My computer is going haywire. My laptop, the screen went out on me, so I had to funnel it through my big screen. So it may look a little different, but we'll get through it.
It looks good, Jeff. It looks perfect.
Let's see. We got a private comment here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, those are Pandion hats.
Pandion, yes.
Yeah, Pandion hats, which is, the treasure hunting ship. So it's going to be good. You trust me, you'll want them. You really will.
Sure. It's a real cool looking hat. And Mark said they'll probably have them on for sale at a later date when they have some of them extra made.
Yeah.
So if you don't win one tonight, you might be able to purchase one, because they're a hot item for sure. So Jeff, I guess I better get started here. So all the housekeeping so we can get started in the show. So of course, folks, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And of course, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk member and guest belong solely to the guest and member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin.
Yes.
Woo! And of course, the most important thing is the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting in all forms, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And that's what we do every week for sure. Last week was a bump in the road, but we've got things in place now. So hopefully that'll never happen again. And I want to welcome all the members, because I was just chatting with Jeff earlier before the show started. It looks like we have Florida Metal Detector Group has like 4,600 people in it now on the Facebook. And on the Facebook Treasure Talk, I think, has over 5,000, and there's probably that many or more on YouTube because I think people like YouTube better than Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. So we got a lot of folks out there. And, coming up this year, if you can believe it, on May 13th, 4th-year anniversary doing the show.
May 13th, 4th year. Who would ever thought? If somebody told me 4 years ago I was going to be doing this, I would have said, you're crazy.
But it's been a good time. And we got a lot of really good shows coming up.
Yeah, oh, yeah, we get the best guests. Today's no different. We've got people here for sure, and you see them on TV shows, too. That's
yeah.
The thing. You see them on Pawn Stars. You see them on Josh Gates and some other shows. So, and plus they're treasure hunting celebrities anyway.
And you might see them on the post office wall, but that's just a story for another show. I think we need to get after it.
Yeah, we need to get after it, Jeff, because this is a family show.
Yep. All righty. I'm going to bring them on one by one because we got 3 guests for you all tonight. So, number 1 is the Scourge of the 7 Seas, Captain Carl Fizz Marc. Hi, Captain.
Hey, guys, congratulations on the 4 years. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? My wife came up with the idea, Jocelyn, and I'm not sure she's happy I've been doing it for 4 years. Just always make her work and help me on the other side there, so we never have any dead air.
Well, my occasional visits to your shop are always fun, and meet a lot of people, and of course talk about metal detectors and treasure. What else is there besides rum?
That's right. That's right. Well, with one thing there is your sidekick, Mark Littleton.
There he is.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight, guys?
We're doing
good. We're doing real good. Now comes the dangerous part of the show.
Dream it, dive it, and find it.
Everybody, get your sunglasses on because the star power is just gleaming. It's so Captain Brad. There we go.
Hey, everyone.
Captain Brad.
I'm still looking. Where's the star power? Where's the star power?
It's here somewhere. I don't know, but it's here.
Yeah, I give you all credit for doing this for 4 years. I don't think a lot of people realize how much is involved in productions. I mean, for you guys, the editing, coming up with the schedule of all the interviews that you're going to be doing. There's a lot of work that goes into this. This is like this is probably like 10% of what takes place, just the interviewing. The other 90%, a lot of people don't see. And that's a lot of work. You've been doing this for 4 years. So my hat's off to you, gentlemen. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, for finding all the talented guests that come on here with us.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. And running the software. And you see, last week I, not to borrow President's words, but I choked like a dog trying to run the show because I wasn't experienced at it. So we're going to fix that. But in the 4 years, we've never missed a show until last week.
Wow. Well, that's incredible. That is incredible.
Well, all of a sudden, about 5:15, I'm sitting there drinking a cup of coffee and boop, the power goes out. And I thought, well, sometimes you get a little flicker. So I waited till about 10 minutes to 6 and it wouldn't come on. So I texted Phil. I said, hey, you're liable to have to do this without me. And so he tried it and he couldn't get the software to work. So we just canceled out. Now we're back better than ever tonight.
Better for sure. Right. Excellent guests on here too. We've got a lot of TV experience, so maybe they can help us, Jeff. Uh-oh. I guess we need to probably get right at the questions coming through.
Yes, you do. If y'all got questions, put them in the chat.
Yeah, put them in the chat. Jocelyn will catch them. Jeff will catch them. I can't catch them because I can't see the screen that good to see the questions. But I know I was asking you guys earlier, your season starts in May, So where do you decide on that? Where do you decide where you go hunt at? You have.
Oh, you'd like to know.
I mean, do you have this all mapped out ahead of time for your season?
It's mapped
Yes.
out, but we plead the fifth on where.
Yeah, it's very people back in the day. I mean, people think like, oh, I feel lucky. Let's go over there. It's actually very systematically done. We have the AutoCAD. Everything's, the prop is tagged, plotted on the AutoCAD chart. So, it's actually very systematic. I wish it was like in the movies where, just you're on this luxury yacht, that some billionaires giving you, and you just, oh, let's go over there. And then you find this big pile of gold and then sail off into the sunset with all the gold. But then in reality, then the IRS man is after you shortly thereafter, and everyone's litigating for you after. But yeah, it's actually very systematic. There's a lot of work that goes just like this, So.
Okay. All right. Well, we had our first question here from Jim Truckley. He wants to know what happened to your hand, Carl.
Funny you should notice. I'd like to say I was in a sea battle, hand-to-hand combat and short swords and everything else, but it kind of loses the romance when I tell you the truth. But I'll tell you the truth. It's called dishpan hands. There's no cure for it. I've had 3 skin doctors look. I've had it for 50 years. It's just now in a bad stage. And there's the 3 skin doctors I've had said there's no cure for it. And I said, is it because there's not enough people have it? He said, yes, there's not enough people have it for the medical people to make money on it. Well, that was a very exciting story, but different.
Yeah. Now, guys, when you find the treasure over there on the Treasure Coast, what goes involved in it? How do you go about? What do you do with it? Does it have to be? Does the state of Florida have to look at it? Who has to see it first?
Well, what happens is that we have a sublease through Queen's Jewels, which is out of the Tampa area through John Brandon. Every article that we pull up is tagged with the GPS coordinates, the water depth, the clarity, and once it's tagged, at the end, near the middle of the season and the end of the season, is turned into Queen's Jewels. Queen Jewels then photographs it all and it goes to the state. And from there, the following year, we get our distribution after the state keeps their portion and Queen's Jewels keeps theirs, and we have distribution of the rest, the balance of it.
Okay. And then are you guys heavy duty collectors, I imagine?
I know I am. I know Carl is. I think Brad is too. I think we all are.
So do you sell any of the stuff?
If we're lucky enough to wind up with something, the state is, as I still remember it, they're entitled to take 20% in the overall picture. Well, back in 1983, there were a whole bunch of boats where more than 20 were working back in 83. And the state, we did good. That was our best year ever. And the state took their whole 20% due just out of our pot. The other boats didn't chip in anything. And so I said, okay, now I know how the game's played, but that came as a surprise.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that the state can get 20%. We have to give 50% to the leaseholder. So now we're at 70%. Then if we have financial backers. So sometimes by the time it's all done, if I have enough to go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal, hey, it was a great season. No, we do have some really good season, but there's a lot. It's more like something that you're very passionate about.
Right.
As opposed, I wish we could say we're all rich and not sitting on our yachts, but unfortunately we're not. So
you went to McDonald's?
I know. I splurged.
Thanks a lot.
Found out. Damn it. I'm in trouble. Fizz is going to be after me now.
Oh, goodness. Well, I guess it's called treasure hunting. It's not always treasure finding. So it's about the hunt most of the time. So, Captain Carl, I saw on, I guess, some of your Facebook posts, you were cleaning some silver coins, some Spanish coins.
That's correct. That was the last that was the second to last clump of the Taj Mahal coins. When I got them, they came into. We had two big clumps to start with. One of them, the last clump, is that exists from the Taj Mahal treasure, is on display at the Pirate Treasure Museum in St. Augustine. Strangely enough, there was a museum in Colombo, which I went to when I was over there diving with Arthur C. Clarke. And 15 or 16 or 17 years ago, a big tsunami went through there. It picked up the museum and took it out to sea somewhere. They've been looking for it and can't find it. Probably dropped off in deep water. So that was all that was left of the Taj Mahal treasure. And the only thing left you can visibly see is the big clump up in the St. Augustine Museum, the last one.
Cool. Well, it looks like we got loads of questions coming through. I know I missed one, Jeff, that you had posted there, but this one is from Bob Kulik, and he's asking, what was the oldest piece of treasure you guys have found? The oldest piece of treasure.
I found an intact reliquary once, and it had two rosaries inside, and made out of rosewood, hand carved, and in where the two crosses cross, there's two real tiny slivers of wood in there, and those tiny slivers of wood are from the cross of a saint or a martyr during Roman times. Except they got crucified, and the Romans let the people cut the cross up into little pieces. I had, in fact, if I should have thought about it, I could have had show and tell tonight. But next time I will, if you remind me. The problem is we don't know who the saint or martyr was. This reliquary was laying out, not even in the scatter. I was just snorkeling up and down metal, and luckily found it intact. It's in my case over here right now. But from a saint or a martyr 2,000 years ago is pretty good.
That is. And how about you, Mark, your oldest find?
Oh, geez. My oldest find is from the 1715 fleet between, 8 reals, an 8 escudo, some pottery, things on that order. That'd be my oldest find. But my best find, I'm going to be honest with you, is when I was younger, I used to dive on the Andrea Doria, which went down, not that long ago in comparison. I guess that would have been, a lot of china, pottery, a couple door panels, things in that order from there.
Okay, cool. And you, Cap? Captain Bradley? Your oldest?
Don't say me.
Captain Bradley.
That was a good. I got to go with what Fizz said. Fizz. The oldest thing I found was Fizz. No, that was his line. I'm stealing his line that he said that. I'd have to go with Mark. It'd probably be either like the 1715 fleet, the 1733 fleet. Over the years, the gold coins that I found, the gold doubloons, the silver pieces of 8, Kanksy porcelain, the jewelry. Found a beautiful golden emerald cross on the 1733 fleet. But, actually the coin that I'm wearing, this is the first piece of 8 that I found, is dated 1694. And so back when I started diving with Bob Weller, Commander Bob Weller, a.k.a. Bob Frogfoot Weller, gosh, back in 1987 on the 1715 fleet. We always had to think the first coin you find, you get to keep. And so this was the first 8 real that I brought up. So I still have it to this day.
Oh, cool.
By the way, I recently posted a picture of Jack Haskins and Bob Weller. They were working on the 1733 fleet together. That's on my Facebook page. Pretty good if you want to go. All of us today owe them two guys a debt of some kind. If it wasn't for them and Mel Fisher, we'd be out of business. We'd be gone. But it's men like that that against all kinds of odds just kept the ball going.
You know,
Interesting.
I was lucky enough when I was 12 to meet Mel Fisher, and he got me involved in it. Then I was lucky enough to, Commander Weller, actually I was like 23 then, back in 1987, he brought me on board. And, in 3 months, he was calling me son. I was calling him dad. We had, it was kind of like I got more fathering from him in like 5 minutes than I did from but anyone else in my life at that time, and dove with him for, I don't know how many years until age caught up with him. But, both Carl and I were very lucky to have been trained under some of the legends in the industry. So,
Well, cool.
Bob Weller dated Marilyn Monroe.
yeah.
I hate him.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we have a lot of questions that are rolling by so quick I don't even catch them. But
Okay.
we did have one question, and I kind of know the answer to this one, and the person that the name is gone already, but was asking if you find one single gold coin, do you have to turn that in?
If you're on the Pandion, the answer is yes. If you're on the beach, the answer is no.
Exactly.
Okay, and then this one is from my friend Moose in New York, and he's asking what detectors do you guys use?
Like, you want to go, Carl?
I like the J.W. Fisher Pulsate X. I have 3 of them, but I just got their new SAR #1, which I held it up in front of the camera a little while ago. But if it's as good as I'm thinking it is, because I just turned it on for the first time yesterday, I think it's going to be the butt-kicking machine to use.
Well, hold it up, Cap.
Hold it up.
Not with your bad hand, though.
There you go.
This is just came out.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot more compact than the Pulsate X, but then again, there's not as much in here. They eliminated the Sense 1 and Sense 2, which they should have done years ago. All Sense 3, that's all it is. You're looking with your deepest sense all the time with this one. I think I'm going to fall in love with it.
Carl, do we need to give you 5 minutes alone?
Yes, please. Turn my camera off.
Okay, we're going to have a break for 5 minutes. We'll be back.
Well, speaking of that, why don't we do we'll do a word from our sponsor while Carl catches his breath.
There you go.
Hey folks, Phil Myers here from Myers Metal Detectors, and I want to show you some cool products that we have in stock every day in our store. These are NACA products. If you see all the stuff behind me, that's all the NACA accessories. We stock all those too. We've got the Score and the Double Score. These are waterproof detectors, extremely sensitive to gold and coins on the beach. Work great in the salt water. We also have, and these are very affordable too. This is an entry-level detector. I shouldn't say entry-level because it's a very good detector for saltwater hunting. For 300, starting at $375, the Double Score is $425. And then we have the Legend. And we still have the Legend Pro Pack. We've got those on special. On our website, they're $729, but we have in-store specials all the time. So give us a call, 813-237-1939. If we don't have it, you don't need it.
There you go. You don't need it. If we don't have it, you don't need it. Hey, we had a bunch of questions come through, and this one is from my buddy Mumbles Man, Tim Naylor. He's saying, aren't we missing a captain? I guess that would be Captain Morgan.
That would probably be coming from him. Yes, that would be.
I'm not missing it.
I don't know. That's why I thought Carl hurt his hand was with Captain Morgan.
Well, that's what I thought too. Those you got to watch those caps; they get sharp on the edges.
Oh goodness! All righty. And then, geez, the questions that go by too quick for me to, and I don't remember them. But darn it, I had a good one there and I lost it. Oh well.
Let me see. Let me go back up here and find some of them.
That'll get worse.
While you're looking for that, just to go back to the detectors, actually, when we're out on Pandion, we have several detectors out there. We have the JW Fisher, we have the Aquapulse, and Garrett. So many times we'll have several, because a lot of times you go out there and you need more than one, because sometimes, I think that happened to you one time, Fizz. Didn't you were out on one of the projects and all of the detectors were down except the one you had from the Legend.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And we had, there were 6 divers and only 1 metal detector.
Yeah.
I bought 7 brand new ones. I'm not going to say the name. And it was a last minute rush because, as you know, the backers promise you the money, but you never get it till like 10 minutes before you're leaving the dock. And so right at the last minute, they put up the money. I rushed up and got these 7 brand new metal detectors still in boxes, famous name too. And I took them over to Silver Shoals, and not one of them worked. We opened up, got them out new, and not one of the 7 new. Of course, when I got back, I had a few words to say, and they did give me my money back. But 1 metal detector working with 6, and it was mine. I had to fight them guys off. We took turns, though. You keep it for a day, you keep it for a day, you keep it for a day. But we were hand fanning those banks, and the coins were just anywhere you went, there was coins falling out of the sandbanks. I like to talk and think about that.
Yeah. There's a question, Phil. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, I see that perfectly. And this is from Tom Becker, and he's asking, what is the deepest that you found shipwreck treasure that you got? I guess that you guys have dove to find it.
For me, it's 60 feet.
Okay.
Most of the conception's in 60 feet of water. And of course, back in the old days, we had these little gauges for decompression, but they were in red, yellow, and orange colors. It's not like today, all these modern things, but fortunately nobody got bent and nobody got sick, nobody broke any bones, and we found thousands of coins.
Okay. How about
I
you
guess
guys?
for me, it's going to be the Andrea Doria, which was between 240 and 260, pulling of China things up in that area. And the shallowest is going to be about 4 inches of water. But the average, I'd say, is 9 feet on the 1715 fleet.
Yeah, that's why they're shipwrecks, because it's shallow.
Yeah.
Or the hurricanes got them. Other than, like, I think was the Atocha, part of that was in a little deeper water, 30 feet or something. But then again, the hurricane smashing them.
60.
60, was it 60 feet?
Water,
Yeah.
Okay. We got another question there, Phil.
Okay, before we do that one, how about you, Captain Bradley? Your deepest treasure find?
I'm going to be right there with about Fizz, about 60 feet. There was one we were going with you, Fizz. I was doing that with you and Buddy Martin. We were going outside of an area out in deeper water to go take a look. But also, like Mark said, a lot of people don't realize most of the stuff we find is in very shallow water. A lot of times I tell people when they come out on the boat, like, if you get in trouble, just stand up. Your head would be out of the water, because you're right. You had the storm surge. Yeah, I know. And the tidal, and again, the ships were made out of wood. They would hit the reefs, and like you've seen on those Aeroflot movies, you had all the row of cannons. The upper decks would rip off, and a lot of this stuff would float in much. Especially the upper decks, which would have a lot of the stern castle, the gold, and jewelry and stuff that would float in close. A lot of the silver would be in maybe 20 feet to 12 feet. But some of the stuff we find, what was it? When there's that pile of gold coins, Carl. What was it? The Capitano, when they found that was one of the backers was able to walk out to the boat. It was so shallow. They were in that close when they were blowing. So
They had their anchors on the beach at the time,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And Phil, that goes back to your question before about our season, why the season runs during then. Like from May back
point.
to September, that's when the flattest water is and the closest we can get to the beach.
There you go. So all you beach owners out there, be hit hard too, because you got a chance too. I've seen some pretty incredible stuff out on the beach, for sure. All right, we got some more questions rolling in here. This one's from Dirty Paul's Detecting. And any dive accents or near accidents? Have you guys had any?
I can say on the Pantheon, since I've been there, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay. Even our scuba wise classes never had an accident. I have been on the Andrea Doria where we did lose a diver. Okay. Just somebody who shouldn't have been down there that had a heart attack.
Oh, yeah. You got to make sure you're healthy enough to dive. All right. We got a question here from Louis Villarreal, and he's asking, how do you clean your Shipwreck silver vines? Electrolysis? And the question mark. So,
you can do that with electrolysis, or there's, like a poor man's electrolysis where you wrap it, if I'm doing this right, Carl, wrap it in aluminum foil and you put it in, I think it was vinegar, and that'll help clear some of it. I remember learning that from Bob. I would recommend reverse electrolysis, of course, but yeah.
Okay. How about you, Carl? How are you cleaning your coins? The ones I saw on that Facebook page.
I have built a couple of the reverse electrolysis machines, and they work just fine. Not this Christmas, it just went by, but last Christmas, D.L. Cheney's widow found 64 coins in the safe deposit box she had forgot about. He died back in '83, and they were all dirty, but she, she's 93 years old, and money would help her a bit. So I cleaned all of those, and I sold every one of them on Facebook, and it came up to, I got about $25,000. Every cent, of course, went to her because I owed D.L. Cheney. If it wasn't for D.L. Cheney, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys. And it really was lifted a burden off of me. Like I felt I owed a debt, and that was my chance to pay it. These were the last coins that DL and I had found shortly before he died. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that picture. Pretty cool picture.
Let's do because we got a bunch of giveaways to get to tonight. Carl, if you will hold up the coin that you're giving away, and in the chat, if you want to be entered for this giveaway of this fantastic coin that Captain Fizz is giving away, you put in the chat hashtag Admiral Gardner.
Admiral Gardner. Hashtag Admiral Gardner.
Yeah, let me make sure that that's correct.
Yes.
No, just hashtag Admiral is all you got to put. Hashtag Admiral. And we're starting to gather all the comments. So
the museum in St. Augustine is just, they've already sold over 200 of these, and they just recently came out. They're made of copper, but copper was also a precious metal. It just wasn't worth as much as gold and silver. And these are darn nice coins too. Excellent condition.
They are in excellent condition. Hey, we did have a question that zoomed by earlier, and it was from somebody in the UK, and he was asking where you guys are treasure diving at. What body of water? So why don't you tell him then? You take it, Mark.
Okay, well, we're diving the Atlantic Ocean in Florida and on the Treasure Coast, which is south of Cape Canaveral, okay, and right before Fort Pierce area.
The Treasure Coast.
Yep.
And then we had another question that was from Pink Power Alley. Was asking when the Scuba Wise clothing is coming out.
We've got 2 classes coming up. One's going to be April 13th, which is a Saturday. And if I'm not mistaken, Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, it's July 13th with also
exactly.
Saturday.
Yep.
If you go to scubawise.com, it's listed on the website, and you can sign up right there.
Yeah, and Jocelyn's telling me I'm asking the wrong questions, but it's not too fast for me. I can't. She's saying, "Oh, it's only 6 up." Well, that's already gone. I guess I got to open up YouTube, so it's a little slower for me, so I can. Oh, does Captain Fizz come with the coin? That's the question that Pink Power Alley had.
Message me on Facebook.
Oh, you guys.
Wish-
So Jeff, how are we doing on the drawing?
Well, I don't know. It's messed up because of the screen I've got up, but I'm going to do the drawing right now.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can. Are we going to be
I
able
hope.
to get? No.
I hope. I can do it. I'll let you know who it is.
Jeff is really good at doing this, and I wish I was as good as him because I would have been able to carry the show last week. But I guess
Tim Walters.
Who was it?
Tim Walters.
Tim Walters. You are the winner of the Captain Admiral. What was the last name?
Admiral Gardner.
Yeah.
Gardner. Captain Gardner. Admiral Gardner coin.
Yep.
And that's an 1808 coin, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's correct. Sank in January 1808.
All righty. That's cool.
Oh, something's wrong here. But keep on going, guys.
Okay. All right, Jeff. You just butt in when you got to, okay?
Okay. I'm trying to get something figured out here.
If you want to do another drawing, just tell me to shut up.
Okay.
All right. All right. So back to my question about the coins you guys find after you get your cut and then you pay your investors whatever. Where do you guys sell it at? What you have left over if you want to?
I gotta let you take that one.
You're talking to me? I thought you were going to let Fizz have that one. But either at shows or, people that we know, because we have a lot of people that are, over the years, we've been in this for like 30 years, 40 years. I mean, we've gotten to know a lot of people. So a lot of private individuals will come to us wanting to buy them. And sometimes at shows, I'll be there with Fizz and we'll sell them at shows.
Yeah, I did good. I did good. Them last 64 coins on Facebook, and after I had them cleaned and looking good, I posted a lot of pictures of them, laying on the table, and sold them all.
Yeah, I know they went. They must have gone fast.
They did,
and
maybe I
wasn't quick enough. I guess I'm being selfish with my questions. What shows do you guys go to?
I do pretty much all of the pirate shows up and down the Atlantic coast. And I used to do the DEMA show, but boy, the prices have got high and business went to heck. That's the Dive Equipment Manufacturers Association.
Okay. And then
I was the first guy to bring treasure to the DEMA show. First one, if you can, about 40 some years ago. And I did like $40,000 some. And you know what I did? I opened my big, fat, stupid mouth and I bragged about it. Next year at DEMA show, there was 15 of us selling treasure coins.
So that goes to show you keep your mouth shut and you don't tell nobody. Oh goodness! Yeah. So Jeff, we got it under control, by
as much as we can. So let's do another giveaway. Let's give away the Pandion hats and start in there, guys. Hashtag Pandion.
Yeah, these are some cool hats. You can see the logo real quick. Let me get it in there. Yeah, they're nice.
That looks good.
Yeah.
So let's see. And we will see. We'll give people a few minutes to get in there. So go ahead, ask some questions, Phil. Philip.
Oh, I think we just lost Philip.
Looks like he was frozen.
Yeah.
Well, tell a story, Captain Fizz.
Well,
but we lose him.
When Hurricane Lily hit the Bahamas, I was sitting out on the island of Great Inagua, and it went past the first time, went to Cuba, did a complete turnaround, and came back again. And there were a boatload of Haitians stranded offshore about 5 miles. The captain and another guy rowed all the way in a little lifeboat, and there was a big military from the Bahamas, a big ship there, and they wouldn't go out and pull those Haitians into shore. I might get in trouble for saying this. Anyway, I ended up doing it, and we got them in just as the full force hit. There were 20 Haitians in a small boat. Normally, they're the greatest sailors in the world, but this was the only power boat I've ever seen a Haitian in. But we got them to shore, and they all, 20 some of them, helped me make sure my 2 boats in that marina were secure. Two days and 2 nights. It just sat right there. I broke both of the bones in this arm. But anyway, it was a happy ending.
Actually,
Very good.
I could make up one a lot more exciting than that, but that was the truth.
Okay, let's give this away. So here goes. I know you can't see it because of computer problems. I'm getting a new computer, so just bear with me, folks. Let's see. Okay. So round and around and around we go. And there'll be 2 winners, so I have to hit it again. Scott Beck, you are a winner. And let me do it again. And let's do it again. And so Scott Beck, and I'm fixing to do it again. Okay. So go ahead and chat, guys, while I'm doing this.
would you be interested in knowing a little bit about the history of Pandion?
Yes.
Because she's probably like the real star out there. I mean, it was funny. I remember I've been doing this since, '87. And John Brandon, who was running it, he's not like, oh, it's good to see you guys out there. He said, it's good to see the Pandion back out there. Because that boat has been involved in treasure hunting for so long. And she used to be called Miss Budweiser. She was a 6-pack dive boat down the Keys. Then a gentleman by the name of John Hallis bought her, brought her up to the 1715 fleet. And he was working the Nieves wreck site with her and found a lot of treasure. An area that we call the jewelry flats that he found, where he's like a small gold Madonna medallion with some emeralds in it, just a lot of jewelry out there. Then my mentor, Bob, bought it. Oh, and John Hallis was the one who changed it from Miss Budweiser to Pandion. And then, my mentor bought it from him. He had about it for a year when I came on board, changed from a gas to a diesel. But I mean, all the story, that ship has found so much treasure, and she's probably had about, $7 million come over the transom of that boat. For her size, I don't think any boat has found more treasure out there. And I've had that boat down in the Keys, the 1715 fleet. Remember, Fizz, I took it over there. She's been working the Gulf. This boat has such a history behind it. We should write a book on this thing. I mean, it's been the boat has been more books on treasure hunting and on newsreels and stuff. The boat is actually, I think, the real celebrity.
I do too, and thanks to Mark, it looks like it ought to be looking. It is just trim.
Yep. So the winner of the second Pandion hat is Detecting Adventures Aggie Hall.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to try something here to get rid of this one screen. I'm not having much luck.
Well,
but
I don't know what happened to me, Jeff, but my internet all just went off all of a sudden. So I found my way back.
Good. You're going to have to take it because I've got this screen up and it won't go away. So.
Okay. Well, we see you. You're fine. You're good.
Well, yeah, but I can't see anything. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So for questions, Jocelyn and I can try to grab them. But we were talking about the Pandion. So let me ask you this question, guys. How much gas does that thing eat a day?
Not much at all. When I first
diesel.
Yeah, because it used to be a gas boat back when she was Miss Budweiser, and then John House had it. It was so gassed. And when Bob got it back in the like 86, I believe, we switched it to a 6-cylinder Perkins. And then when I got it, I switched it over to a 4-cylinder Yanmar, intercooled turbocharged Yanmar. So it's smaller, puts out more horsepower. That boat can go about 24 knots. And I think it was Eric that was asking, what does Pandion mean? That was a good question. And I hope I'm getting this right, because it was John House that picked it. And it's either Latin or Greek. I believe it's Greek for the bird of prey over the ocean, like the albatross. But it's actually the Latin or Greek spelling of that. And I'll have to look up some more on that. But that was where the origin of the name Pandion came. John House was the one. And since then, we've never changed the name.
People ask me, what does Pandion mean? And I say, Brad's not too bright.
Well, that's the truth. I can't argue that. Unfortunately, I was just born so good looking. I've been able to buy my looks instead of my brains. But, go for it, Fizz. Say it, Fizz. Say it. I know you want to.
Later for you, boy.
All right. Well, there was some questions about coordinates for the shipwrecks. There are coordinates for the different ships that wrecked over there, 1715 fleet. Is that correct?
Yes.
There are coordinates for it, but if people go to scubawise.com, if they look on there, go to the More button, it shows beach locations where you can actually treasure hunt and where the wrecks are that they can actually get to. It gives you the actual GPS coordinates of the areas.
Right. And these and the coordinates for the shipwreck, those ships, when they broke up, that stuff is broadcast everywhere. Correct?
The GPS coordinates, they are broadcasted. People know them, but I got to be honest with you. Some of these shipwrecks that went down, they traveled for miles.
Right.
And the terrain that they hit and bounced off the reefs, drifted up the coast. So you can find stuff anywhere if you look. You really can.
Yeah, we have a question here from Bob Kulik again. He's asking the biggest piece of treasure size you guys found. Biggest piece of treasure, I guess your largest piece of treasure off the shipwrecks.
Largest piece. That'd probably be you, Fizz.
I got a couple of big. How did you mean that?
Your Taj Mahal coins, a big
Don't
claw.
make me come over there. No, I had, a lot of things that have value. I've only been on 2 Spanish galleons that were actually fitted in bronze. As a matter of fact, one of the secrets to looking for Spanish galleons, if you see brass and bronze, pass it by, because they were the cheapest shipbuilders in the whole world. The French and the English and the Dutch were all classy, but those boats had bronze fittings and everything. A lot of people show me bronze spikes and say, yeah, this came off a Spanish galleon. But at first I tried to educate them, but boy, you tell them it didn't really, then they get mad. But there's a clue for you. When D.L. Cheney and I first started together, we found a lot of wrecks in the Bahamas. And I always jump in rapidly, get my gear on and jump in rapidly. And I just start filling a bag with the bronze fittings, because as soon as DL saw that bronze, he just waved, come on, we're getting out of here. And we left behind several shipments scattered, all the brass and bronze. That was when I was first working with DL, and I learned a lot from him. And of course, Jack Haskins worked with us at the time. Although Jack didn't like me, he said, DL Cheney, he said, don't educate him. You're only training the competition. I fixed Jack good. I stayed with him for the next 32 years of his life. Yeah. I reminded him of that often.
We did have a question from Joe 4077. He's asking, why haven't the ship bells been found?
That is a good question. I saw that. I'm actually, writing some of these down. I saw that's a good question, because, a lot of times we've got the Legajos from the survivors, and a lot of times they would set up camps opposite the wrecks, and they would take section rings. So we're pretty sure, about the names of the wrecks of the ships that we're going after. But on the other hand, too, again, it would be nice to find the ship spells, but then, and correct me on this, Fizz, if I'm wrong, many times the ship spell were so valuable that they would just literally take it from one ship to the next sometimes too. If a ship had wrecked or was older, they would just, so even if we found one of the bells, it may not say, like the new SS Señora de la Nieve. So we know, okay, this is, because that's one of the wrecks off of Fort Pierce that there's some debate about as the actual, which ship it actually is. I mean, I agree with you, Joe. I wish we could, like in the movies, like National Treasure or something, he finds the bell in the first 5 minutes and he knows the ship. I wish we did. So you got anything on that you want to throw in there, Fizz or Mark?
It's a giant puzzle scattered all over the bottom.
We have to remember, too, the Spanish came over here where they had salvage divers themselves. They were diving down and bringing stuff up. They may have not wanted people to know which shipwrecks or what. So it's very possible they took them. Who knows?
Yeah, and they could have grabbed the bells and used them on another ship, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
About what you just said about their divers, there's an excellent book called The Funnel of Gold by Mendel Peterson. You want to know everything there is to know, that's the book, The Funnel of Gold.
I've read it and I have it.
Yeah, Captain Fizz, you authenticated a bell on the Pawn Star show. Where was that bell from?
That was from the Dutch East India Company.
Oh, okay.
In fact, it was sank off of the island of Bali.
Okay.
I went over there thinking I was going to get rich. I was lucky to find enough stuff to break even on all the money I had spent, but it was an adventure. The beaches, all the beaches on the island of Bali, you just stand there and wait, and artifacts are washing up like with every break of the waves. And nobody there cared much, but I'm out there picking them up and feel just like some little kid who went to the beach on Sunday. But anyhow, that's where that bell came from.
Okay, cool. Hey, we did have some questions coming through from Pink Power Alley again. She's asking, during the hurricanes, do you have to regrid with a LiDAR?
I have a drone with LiDAR, but you really don't have to. Okay, we work search pattern areas. The bottom does change the topology, but the areas we do search, I do go out there with a drone with LiDAR and look at the areas after storms.
Okay, cool. And what are you looking for? Are you looking for holes or what are you looking for?
I'm looking for changes in the topology. Okay, I'm looking for something that might be uncovered. Okay, that we haven't seen in the past, so we can actually work it the following season.
Oh, okay.
I do this during the winter time, not during our season time.
Okay, cool. And what is the water temperature when you start?
It's cold. It's about 82, 84 degrees.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Well, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But we are wearing full wetsuits because of, the coral, everything else, the anemones and that, just so we don't get hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jeff, you doing okay over there, buddy?
Yeah, let's for the two winners or the three winners that your names were called, you need to send an email, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com, name, address, and phone number. I'll get it to Fizz and I'll get it to Capt Marc, and then they'll get your prizes out to you. As far as the autograph picture, remember that's going to be on the special Treasure Talk on April 11th from Sebastian. So that will be a picture of the Pandion and all these guys, and it'll be autographs. So this giveaway tool's boogered up tonight, so we can't do it. So that's just kind of the way of what's happening. So sorry about that. We got about 4 minutes left, so get your questions in, Phil.
If you got questions, just type them in real quick. And I guess Uncle Beep has asked, any problems with sharks while tired?
They're in the water there with us, all the time. Sometimes, the water's so murky we don't see them, but even when they are, there's videos out there where we can see all the sharks around me. Well, I've got my metal detector. They're not interested in us at all. So, and also, Surfside Dam, was asking about Roy Volker. Yes, I do remember Roy Volker. You know, he's one of the legends out there. So I do remember him. And then Big Power was also asking about like some of the other areas. And yeah, I've done, as you've seen, expedition, like one of the things we just did for the show, Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates. We were on the island of Tenerife. Even though that's owned by Spain, legally you can't be looking in Tenerife. They allow the treasure hunting. So yes, we've done treasure hunting in other areas too, not just the Treasure Coast. Just trying to get that in real quick, you know, before we go off air.
All right, no problem. And Jim Truckley saying, "Can we see the coin? Which coin are we talking? Are we talking about Mark's coin he's wearing? Is that the gold coin? I can't see it.
That's the Lima Ada Scudo.
Ada Scudo. I think
but I think they're talking about the Admiral Gardner coin.
Yeah,
that's what I think he's talking about.
I'll trade you, Mark.
Sorry, Carl. Not going to happen.
I think that Ada Scudo is worth a little more than the Admiral Gardner coin.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, show that coin again, Cap.
Wait a minute.
there we go.
Can you see any of it?
Yeah, I can see it. I think I may have a few of those still left here at the shop.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So if somebody wants one and they're in the store, just remind me, and we have them for sale for sure.
You know, something I haven't heard you mention is you got that magnet fishing stuff. I'm seriously thinking about buying one of those.
Oh, yeah, we have all different weights of those. I have some guys who metal detect, and then they buy those magnets, and I think I live in a bad neighborhood because last week or week before last, the guy was bringing in a sawed-off shotgun. He said he had to turn that one into the police because it's I think he said it was a federal offense to have a sawed-off shotgun. But he had found it.
Depends on how sawed off it is.
Yeah, so, but he's always finding handguns in my neighborhood in the river. So I'm thinking I might want to move. But the magnet fishing is kind of cool. So Jeff, how
Indeed it is.
you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just going to die soon. It'll all be over.
Well, we're going to the streets of gold, my friend.
Yes, we are.
So it looks like it's that time again. That hour went super fast, guys.
Yes, it did.
That was fun. We'll do it again.
Yes, for
Yep,
sure.
we're going to do it again on April 11th.
Yep.
Only this time there will be rum involved, Captain.
I think he said there was rum involved already.
Yes.
Well, there could have been, yes. But I mean, I will definitely, there will be rum there.
I'm going to be at the Fort Pierce Pirate Show on the 10th and 11th, in case anybody wants to bring a bottle.
You can bring coins to sell, Carl?
The what?
Are you bringing coins to sell to the show?
I'm bringing some, yes. I don't have much of an inventory, but if you have some, you want to stick them in the case, you know you can.
You bring 10 or 20 down.
Yeah, in fact, I've got one of yours I'm still trying to sell. It was that half of a Scudo.
Yep.
I've got it priced right, so maybe it will. Who knows?
Well, guys, I wanted to thank you for coming on here with us and sharing your treasure hunting wisdom. So thank you, Captain Bradley. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Captain Fizz. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Jocelyn, for helping me. And our hour went super quick. I can't believe
Yes, it did. It did indeed. So we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It seems like we've been plagued with some problems the last couple of times, but that's going to be resolved. Captain Fizz, Captain Mark, and Captain Brad, I will see you soon.
Definitely.
Down at Sebastian, and I will be getting the address of the house to you before too much longer. And everybody that's involved is excited as they can be. And there's going to be a really big crowd down there that night. All three of these guys will be there. Terry Shannon will be there. And Sid and KT Jones will be there. And Nicole, Mel Fisher's granddaughter, will be there.
Oh, nice.
So
Great.
make sure that you.
She's very nice. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. She
Wow.
is a good one. She's a good one. So make sure that you tune in on April 11th. That's a Thursday night, and that will be a very special treasure talk show from the Treasure Coast with
Cool.
all kinds of treasure hunters. So join us next week. We have a young man from Australia that is going out into the outback with his gold machine. And we're going to talk about gold prospecting in Australia. So with that said, thanks, Phil. Thanks, Jocelyn. Thanks, guys. It's always a very, very big pleasure for me to spend any
Thank
time
you.
with you guys at all. And we will see you next week. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Absolutely. Happy hunting, guys.
Let's see if we can get this thing to end. Phil, my computer's locked up, so end it.
I just hit the end button and